technologies are transforming transportation. China is emerging as a global leader in the field of AI and robotics. The country has made significant investments in these technologies. It has also implemented favorable policies to promote their development and adoption. Over the past 2 decades, China has secured a staggering 78% of global robotics patents. This demonstrates the country's commitment to innovation in this field. Chinese companies are also attracting significant investments. Venture capitalists are pouring money into Chinese robotics companies. This dominance is not limited to research and development. China is also leading the way in the manufacturing and adoption of robots. The country is rapidly integrating robots into its factories and industries. This is driven by the need to improve efficiency and productivity. South Korea is another major player in the robotics revolution. Like China, South Korea is heavily investing in automation. South Korea recognizes the transformative potential of these technologies. It aims to be a leader in this new era of industrial automation. The economic impact of the AI and robotics revolution is projected to be massive. One of the most significant advantages of robot labor is cost efficiency. Robots can work tirelessly without breaks or vacations. They also don't require salaries or benefit. Studies have shown that robot labor can cost as little as $2 per hour. This is significantly lower than the minimum wage in most developed countries. This cost advantage is a major driver of robot adoption in various industries. The market for humanoid robots alone is projected to reach a staggering $7 trillion by 2050. These robots are designed to mimic human capabilities. They can perform a wide range of tasks. This makes them suitable for various industries and applications. Another promising sector is the cleaning robot market. This market is expected to witness significant growth. Projections suggest a potential of 1.2 billion household units and 25 million commercial units by 2050. This indicates the increasing demand for automation in everyday tasks. These figures highlight the immense economic potential of the robotics revolution. This is not just about cost savings, it's about creating new industries and job opportunities. This will reshape the global economy. Section 5. The changing workforce, robots and reskilling. The rise of robots will inevitably impact the job market. While some fear mass unemployment, others see it as an opportunity for job transformation. It is true that robots will displace jobs, particularly in manufacturing and repetitive tasks. An MIT study found that each industrial robot replaced an average of 3.3 workers between 1990 and 2007. This trend is likely to continue as robots become more sophisticated. However, this does not necessarily mean a jobless future. The adoption of robots will also create new job opportunities. These jobs will be in areas like robot maintenance, AI training, and data analysis. As the robotics industry grows, so will the demand for skilled workers in these fields. Reskilling and upskilling the workforce will be crucial in this transition. Governments and educational institutions need to provide training programs. These programs should equip workers with the skills needed for these emerging jobs. Section 6. Global adoption of robots and uneven landscape. The adoption of robots is expected to vary across different regions and industries. Developed economies with their advanced infrastructure and higher labor costs are likely to see faster adoption rates. Less developed regions may lag behind due to various factors. In terms of industrial penetration, developed economies are projected to reach 30% adoption by 2050. Less developed economies are expected to reach 20%, while the least developed economies may only achieve 10% penetration. This highlights the disparity in technological advancement. Household penetration is also expected to vary. Developed economies are projected to reach 22% adoption by 2050, indicating a higher likelihood of robots becoming commonplace in homes. Less developed economies are expected to reach 11%, while the least developed economies may only achieve 5% penetration. Interestingly, the adoption of AI and robotics is not limited to tech giants. Smaller companies are also finding ways to integrate these technologies. This democratization of technology is making automation more accessible and affordable. Section 7. Challenges on the road to a robot future. Despite the immense potential, several challenges need to be addressed. One of the main challenges is the high manufacturing cost of robots. While the cost of production is decreasing, robots are still a significant investment, especially for small and medium-sized enterprises. Another challenge is the limited battery power of robots. Current battery technology cannot support extended operation. This limits the functionality of robots and requires frequent charging, which can be a bottleneck in certain applications. Infrastructure is another crucial factor. Robots require a supportive infrastructure, including reliable power supply, high-speed internet connectivity, and robust communication networks. This can be a challenge in regions with underdeveloped infrastructure. The legal and ethical implications of widespread robot adoption also need careful consideration. Issues like data privacy, algorithmic bias, and accountability for autonomous decisions need to be addressed through comprehensive regulations and guidelines. Section 8. Shaping a safe and sustainable robot revolution. As we venture further into the age of intelligent automation, it is crucial to prioritize safety and sustainability. This includes implementing robust safety measures in robot design and operation to prevent accidents and ensure human well-being. Economic and social impacts need to be carefully managed. This includes addressing potential job displacement through reskilling programs and creating social safety nets to support workers in transition. In the near term, AI and robots are more likely to augment human capabilities rather than replace them entirely. They can serve as personal assistants, handle mundane tasks, and enhance productivity, allowing humans to focus on more creative and complex endeavors. The integration of robots into society will be an iterative process, similar to the adoption of cars. As technology advances and societal acceptance grows, robots will gradually become more prevalent in various aspects of our lives. Section 9. The future of work in a world of AI. The future of work in a world increasingly influenced by AI and robotics is full of possibilities. While some jobs will be displaced, others will be created. The key is to adapt and embrace the changes. The workforce of the future will need to be adaptable, lifelong learners. They will need to be comfortable working alongside robots and utilizing AI tools to enhance their productivity. Education systems need to evolve to meet the demands of this new era. They need to equip students with the skills necessary to thrive in a world where AI and robotics are ubiquitous. The robot revolution is not something to be feared, but rather an opportunity to create a more efficient, productive, and equitable society. By embracing these changes and addressing the challenges responsibly, we can harness the power of AI and robotics to build a brighter future for all.
Are you making these financial mistakes that could cost you your future wealth? You're working hard, grinding away, but are you setting yourself up for success? Or are you falling into common traps that could hold you back for years to come? In your 20s, the financial decisions you make can set the stage for a lifetime of wealth or a lifetime of struggle. It's the time to build a solid foundation, to plant the seeds for a future where you're not just getting by, but thriving. Today, we'll uncover the top 5 financial mistakes to avoid, using real-life stories and expert advice. We'll break down these mistakes and give you actionable steps so you can take control of your finances and start building the future you deserve. Let's get started. Let me tell you about my friend Mark. Mark's a great guy, loves his Starbucks, and thought budgeting was for, well, boring people. He figured he was making good money, so why bother tracking every penny? Well, fast forward a year, Mark's inbox is flooded with credit card bills. He's stressed out of his mind. And that daily $4 latte habit? Yeah, it's turned into a $1,460 annual expense he didn't even realize he had. Look, I get it. Budgeting can feel restrictive, like you're putting yourself in a financial straitjacket. But here's the thing. Budgeting isn't about deprivation. It's about awareness and control. It's about understanding where your money is going so you can make conscious decisions about your spending. Think of it like this. If you were building a house, you wouldn't just start throwing bricks together without a plan, right? You'd have blueprints, a budget, a clear understanding of where every dollar is going. Your financial life deserves the same level of attention. Budgeting empowers you to take control of your money, to allocate it towards your goals, Whether it's saving for a down payment on a house, investing in your future, or finally taking that dream vacation, it's about making your money work for you, not against you. There are tons of budgeting apps out there, or you can go old school with a spreadsheet. The key is to find a system that works for you and stick with it. Track your income, your expenses, and categorize everything. You'll be amazed at how much clearer your financial picture becomes. And hey, if after budgeting you realize you can afford that daily latte and still hit your financial goals, then go for it. But at least you're making that decision from a place of knowledge and control, not blindly letting your money slip through your fingers. Remember, budgeting isn't about restriction, it's about freedom. Freedom from financial stress, freedom to pursue your dreams, freedom to build the life you want. So ditch the budgeting is boring mentality and embrace it as your secret weapon to financial success. So, I've got a confession to make. Back in my early 20s, I thought credit cards were like free money. You mean I could buy this awesome jacket now and pay for it later? Sign me up. Little did I know those later payments would come back to bite me with a vengeance. See, credit card debt is like that extra slice of pizza at 2 a.m. It seems like a good idea at the time, but you always regret it in the morning. The problem with credit card debt is the insidious way it creeps up on you. You swipe your card for a few small purchases here and there, thinking you'll pay it off later. But then life happens. Unexpected expenses pop up, your income fluctuates, and suddenly, you're staring down a mountain of debt with interest rates that would make even a loan shark blush. I remember one time I was trying to impress a date by taking her to this fancy restaurant. I whipped out my credit card, feeling like a high roller, only to have it declined. Talk about embarrassing. That's when it hit me. My buy now, worry later mentality had caught up with me. The truth is, credit card debt is a silent wealth killer. It robs you of your financial freedom, eats away at your future earnings, and keeps you trapped in a cycle of payments and stress. But here's the good news. You can escape the credit card debt trap. It takes discipline, commitment, and a solid plan, but it's absolutely possible. First things first, stop digging. Put those credit cards away, cut them up if you have to, and resist the temptation to accumulate more debt. Next, create a budget and prioritize paying down your credit cards as quickly as possible. Look for ways to increase your income, even if it's a side hustle, and throw every extra dollar towards your debt. Remember, getting out of debt is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be setbacks, temptations, and moments of doubt. But stay focused on your goal. Celebrate your progress along the way, and know that every payment you make is a step towards financial freedom. All right, let's talk about something that's way more exciting than budgeting or credit card debt investing. And no, you don't need to be a Wall Street hotshot to make your money work for you. In fact, the earlier you start, the better. Thanks to this magical little thing called compound interest. Imagine this. You invest $1,000 today. With an average annual return of 7%, that $1,000 could grow to over $10,000 in 30 years without you lifting a finger. That's the power of compounding, my friends. It's like a snowball effect, where your money earns interest, and then that interest earns interest, and so on, creating an avalanche of wealth over time. Now, I know what you're thinking. Graham, I'm in my 20s, I'm still paying off student loans, I can't afford to invest. And you know what? I get it. But here's the thing. Even small, consistent investments can make a huge difference in the long run. Think of it like this. If you invested just $5 a day, the price of that daily latte we talked about earlier, you'd be investing $1,825 a year. Over 30 years, that could grow to over $120,000. That's right. Just by skipping your daily caffeine fix, you could be sipping margaritas on a beach somewhere, retired early and living your best life. The key is to start small and be consistent. There are tons of investment options out there, from low-cost index funds to robo-advisors that automate your investments for you. Do your research, find an approach that aligns with your risk tolerance and financial goals, and start investing today. Remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Don't let another day go by without putting your money to work for you. The magic of compounding is waiting to turn your small, consistent investments into a mountain of wealth. Picture this. You're cruising along, life is good, your finances are on track. Then, bam, life throws you a curveball. Your car breaks down, you lose your job, or you face an unexpected medical expense. Suddenly, That financial stability you worked so hard for feels like it's hanging by a thread. This, my friends, is why having an emergency fund is non-negotiable. It's your financial safety net, your peace of mind, your armor against the unexpected chaos that life throws your way. An emergency fund is not for that new phone you've been eyeing or a spontaneous weekend getaway. It's for those oh crap moments, the unexpected events that can derail your finances and send you spiraling into debt. Think of it like this. You wouldn't drive a car without insurance, right? Well, your emergency fund is your financial insurance, protecting you from the financial fallout of life's inevitable bumps in the road. So, how much should you have in your emergency fund? A good rule of thumb is to have 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up. I know that sounds like a lot, especially when you're just starting out. But remember, you don't have to build it overnight. Start small, even if it's just $50 or $100 a month, and gradually increase your savings over time. Treat your emergency fund like a non-negotiable expense, just like your rent or your phone bill. You can even automate your savings so you don't even have to think about it. Trust me, having a well-stocked emergency fund will not only save you from financial disaster, but it will also give you peace of mind, knowing that you're prepared for whatever life throws your way. And that, my friends, is priceless. Here's a hard truth. Our education system often fails miserably when it comes to teaching us about personal finance. We graduate high school, sometimes even college, without a clue about budgeting, investing, or managing our money. And you know what? That lack of financial literacy can cost us dearly. Think about it. We're bombarded with financial advice from all directions, from social media influencers peddling get-rich-quick schemes to well-meaning relatives offering outdated advice. It's no wonder so many people feel lost and confused when it comes to their finances. But here's the thing. You don't have to be a financial expert to take control of your money. There are tons of resources available, from books and podcasts to online courses and financial advisors that can empower you with the knowledge and skills you need to make informed decisions about your money. Investing in your financial education is one of the best investments you can make, period. The more you know about managing your money, the better equipped you'll be to avoid costly mistakes, make smart financial decisions, and build a secure future for yourself. Don't fall prey to the misconception that financial literacy is only for the wealthy or those working in finance. It's for everyone, regardless of your income, background, or financial goals. Take the time to educate yourself. Seek out reputable resources, and never be afraid to ask questions. Remember, knowledge is power, and when it comes to your finances, that power can be the difference between a lifetime of financial security and a lifetime of struggling to make ends meet. So there you have it, the top 5 financial mistakes to avoid in your 20s. Remember, building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time, discipline, and a willingness to learn and adapt. But the rewards are well worth the effort. By avoiding these common pitfalls and making smart financial decisions today, you can set yourself up for a lifetime of financial freedom and security. If you want to learn more about how to grow your wealth, check out our next video on the power of compounding. Click on the end screen to continue your journey to financial freedom. Remember, your financial future is in your hands. Take control, make informed decisions, and start building the life you deserve.
Imagine a machine that learns like we do, recognizing faces, understanding language, even driving cars. At the heart of this dream are neural networks inspired by the human brain's billions of interconnected neurons. These artificial networks learn from data, identifying patterns and improving over time. This ability to learn makes them powerful tools, but their journey has been full of challenges. Today, we'll explore how neural networks evolved from simple models to the driving force behind modern AI. Join us as we uncover the fascinating history of neural networks. Our story begins in the mid-20th century when computers were just emerging and scientists wondered if machines could think like humans. Inspired by the brain's network of neurons, researchers set out to create artificial neural networks, despite primitive computers and scarce data. This is the story of their vision, setbacks, and breakthroughs that shaped the future of AI. In 1943, Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts introduced a mathematical model of the neuron, a simple on-off switch that fired if inputs were strong enough. Their model showed that networks of these artificial neurons could perform logical operations, hinting at the brain's computational power. Though limited by the technology of their time, their work planted the seed for artificial intelligence. The idea, simple units, connected together, could solve complex problems. The dream of machines mimicking the brain was now a real possibility. In 1949, Donald Hebb proposed that neurons learn by strengthening connections when they fire together, a concept now known as Hebbian learning. This idea explained how networks could learn from experience, not just mimic structure. Hebb's insight paved the way for learning algorithms that would power future neural networks. The field of AI was gaining momentum, fueled by each new discovery. In 1956, visionaries gathered at Dartmouth College for a workshop that marked the birth of artificial intelligence as a field. The term artificial intelligence was coined, and neural networks were a central topic. These pioneers debated, collaborated, and set the stage for decades of research. The Dartmouth workshop ignited a passion for AI and fostered a spirit of innovation. It was a turning point that launched an era of rapid progress. In 1957, Frank Rosenblatt unveiled the perceptron, the first working artificial neural network capable of learning. Designed to recognize patterns, the perceptron learned from labeled examples like distinguishing apples from oranges. It made headlines and sparked public imagination, suggesting true AI was within reach. The perceptron brought neural networks from theory to reality, fueling optimism and investment. The future of intelligent machines seemed limitless. The perceptron was a network of simple nodes, each weighing inputs and producing outputs based on thresholds. Its learning ability came from adjusting these weights with each new example, a process called supervised learning. Though basic, it could solve simple classification problems and demonstrated that machines could learn. The perceptron's design inspired a wave of research into more capable neural networks. It was a foundational step toward intelligent machines. The perceptron's simplicity made it accessible and easy to build upon, inspiring researchers worldwide. It hinted at a future where machines could recognize handwriting, translate languages, or diagnose diseases. The perceptron became a symbol of AI's promise, igniting excitement and optimism. It showed that brain-inspired principles could be turned into working technology. But the perceptron hit a wall. The XOR problem, a simple task it couldn't solve due to its linear structure. Critics seized on this limitation, arguing the perceptron was far from true intelligence. The excitement faded as the field faced unforeseen challenges. The dream of intelligent machines seemed more distant than ever. Despite setbacks, researchers saw the perceptron as a crucial first step. Its limitations spurred the search for more complex, multi-layered networks capable of learning nonlinear patterns. This period laid the groundwork for deep learning, even as doubt crept in. The quest for smarter machines continued, driven by human ingenuity. Early networks like the perceptron struggled with real-world tasks, recognizing objects, understanding language, due to limited computing power, data, and algorithms. Training was like teaching a child with only a few blurry photos and simple words. As limitations became clear, optimism gave way to a sobering reality. The field faced growing disillusionment. Our critics, including Marvin Minsky, argued neural networks had overpromised and underdelivered. Their 1969 book Perceptrons highlighted fundamental flaws, like the XOR problem, casting doubt on the field. Funding dried up as attention shifted to other AI approaches. The dream of intelligent machines seemed to be slipping away. Technical challenges and criticism led to the AI winter, a period of stagnation and dwindling support for neural networks. Research slowed, labs closed, and many left the field, yet a small group of dedicated researchers persisted, believing in the potential of neural networks. Even in the darkest times, the seeds of innovation remained. Their perseverance would one day reignite the AI revolution. The AI winter, while a period of stagnation, also provided an opportunity for reflection and reassessment. Researchers began to analyze the reasons behind the limitations of early networks and explore new ideas and approaches. They recognized the need for more robust learning algorithms, more powerful computers, and larger, more diverse data sets. One important development during this time was the emergence of connectionism, a school of thought that emphasized the importance of distributed representations and parallel processing in artificial intelligence. Connectionists argued that intelligence arises not from the manipulation of symbols, as was the prevailing view at the time, but from the complex interactions of many simple processing units similar to neurons in the brain. This shift in perspective paved the way for the development of new neural network architectures and learning algorithms that would eventually lead to the resurgence of the field. Researchers began to explore networks with multiple layers, more complex connections, and novel learning rules inspired by biological systems. The AI winter, though a trying time, proved to be a period of crucial development. It forced researchers to confront the limitations of their approaches, leading to a deeper understanding of the challenges of artificial intelligence and the development of new ideas that would eventually pave the way for the deep learning revolution. The seeds of innovation sown during a time of adversity were about to bear fruit. As the AI winter cast a long shadow over the field, a pivotal breakthrough was about to emerge, one that would breathe new life into neural networks. In the early 1980s, a powerful learning algorithm called backpropagation was rediscovered and refined, igniting a renewed sense of hope for the future of artificial intelligence. The origins of backpropagation can be traced back to the 1960s and 70s. But it was in 1986 that researchers David Rumelhart, Jeffrey Hinton, and Ronald Williams, along with their colleagues, published a seminal paper that brought backpropagation to the forefront of neural network research. Their paper demonstrated the power of backpropagation in training multi-layered networks, overcoming the limitations that had plagued earlier models, like the perceptron. Imagine a network of interconnected nodes arranged in layers, with each connection between nodes having a certain strength or weight. These weights determine how signals flow through the network, influencing its output. Backpropagation provided a way to systematically adjust these weights layer by layer based on the network's performance on a given task. This breakthrough was revolutionary. Backpropagation provided a way to train complex multi-layered neural networks, enabling them to learn intricate patterns and solve problems that were previously considered intractable for artificial intelligence. The rediscovery of backpropagation marked a turning point, a beacon of light amidst the darkness of the AI winter. To understand the significance of backpropagation, imagine teaching a child to ride a bike. You wouldn't simply place them on the bike and expect them to ride off effortlessly. You would guide them, correcting their balance, adjusting their grip on the handlebars, and providing encouragement along the way. Backpropagation acts as a similar guiding force in training neural networks. The process begins by feeding the network with labeled data, like images of cats and dogs with their corresponding labels. As the network processes the data, it makes predictions, initially with a high degree of error. Backpropagation then calculates the difference between the network's predictions and the actual labels, a measure of its error. Here's where the magic happens. Backpropagation propagates this error signal back through the layers of the network, adjusting the weights of the connections between nodes to minimize the overall error. It's like fine-tuning the gears of a complex machine, making subtle adjustments to improve its performance. This iterative process of feeding data forward, calculating error, and propagating it backward continues until the network's predictions become increasingly accurate. The beauty of backpropagation lies in its ability to automatically adjust the network's parameters, learning from its mistakes and improving its performance over time. Backpropagation, with its ability to train multi-layered networks, unlocked the true potential of neural networks, enabling them to tackle problems that had long stymied the field of artificial intelligence. Researchers could now build networks with hidden layers of nodes that weren't directly connected to the input or output, allowing them to learn hierarchical representations of data. Imagine a network learning to recognize faces. The initial layers might learn to detect simple features like edges and corners, while deeper layers combine these features to recognize more complex patterns like eyes, noses, and mouths. Finally, the output layer uses this hierarchical representation to identify the specific face. This ability to learn hierarchical representations was a game changer. It allowed neural networks to extract meaningful features from raw data, making them more powerful and versatile than ever before. They could now tackle a wider range of tasks, from image recognition and speech synthesis to natural language processing and machine translation. The impact of backpropagation was profound. It breathed new life into the field of neural networks, transforming them from theoretical curiosities into powerful tools with practical applications. The AI winter was beginning to thaw, and a new era of research and innovation was dawning. Despite the breakthrough of backpropagation, the resurgence of neural networks was not immediate. The AI winter had taken its toll, leaving the field with limited funding and a lingering sense of skepticism. Researchers faced an uphill battle, struggling to convince their peers and funding agencies of the potential of this revitalized approach to artificial intelligence. The computers of the time were still relatively slow, making it computationally expensive to train large, complex networks. Data, the lifeblood of machine learning, was also scarce, limiting the ability to train networks on the massive datasets required for them to reach their full potential. Nevertheless, a dedicated group of researchers persisted, driven by a belief in the power of neural networks to revolutionize artificial intelligence. They continued to refine backpropagation, develop new architectures, and explore new applications, laying the groundwork for the deep learning revolution that was to come. The seeds of a revolution had been sown. Backpropagation had provided the key to unlocking the potential of neural networks, and while the world was slow to notice, the field was quietly gaining momentum. A new era was dawning, an era where machines would learn to see, hear, understand, and even think, transforming the world as we knew it. While the world remained largely unaware, a quiet revolution was brewing in artificial intelligence. Neural networks, once on the fringes, began to prove their worth. Armed with backpropagation, researchers found success in handwriting and speech recognition. In the early 1990s, Jan LeCun's Lenet 5 could recognize handwritten digits, revolutionizing check processing. Speech recognition also advanced, paving the way for future voice assistants. These breakthroughs laid the foundation for the deep learning revolution to come. Imagine building a skyscraper with only hand tools. That's what early neural network researchers faced, limited by the computers of their time. But as computers evolved, processing power exploded, fueling a new era for neural networks. Moore's law drove exponential growth, making once impossible computations possible. GPUs, built for gaming, became perfect for neural networks, unlocking deep learning's true potential. Imagine teaching a child to speak with just a handful of words. That's what early neural networks faced: limited data. But the digital age brought big data, an explosion of information from the internet, social media, and digital devices. Every click and interaction became fuel for learning algorithms. Combined with powerful computers, neural networks could finally learn complex patterns. This feast of data and computing power sparked the deep learning revolution, transforming artificial intelligence. The early successes, combined with the advancements in computing power and the availability of big data, led to a fundamental shift in the field of neural networks. Researchers began to explore deeper and more complex architectures, moving away from the shallow networks of the past. This marked the transition from the era of neural networks to the era of deep learning. Deep learning, as the name suggests, involves training neural networks with many layers, often tens or even hundreds of layers deep. Each layer learns to extract increasingly abstract and complex features from the data, creating a hierarchical representation that captures the underlying patterns and relationships. This shift towards deep learning was driven by the realization that deeper networks, with their ability to learn hierarchical representations, could achieve significantly better performance on a wide range of tasks. Image recognition models could now identify objects with human-level accuracy, while natural language processing models could generate human-quality text and translate languages with remarkable fluency. The stage was set for a revolution. Deep learning, fueled by big data, empowered by advancements in computing power, and driven by a dedicated community of researchers, was about to transform the world as we knew it. The quiet revolution was about to become very loud indeed. The era of deep learning had begun. From the spark of an idea, mimicking the human brain, to the rise of artificial intelligence, this is a story of perseverance and ingenuity. Pioneers dared to dream of machines that could learn, facing setbacks and skepticism, but never losing faith. From the perceptron to deep learning, each step built on the last. Even through the AI winter, progress continued, leading to new breakthroughs. Today, we witness the ascent of AI, powered by the vision and persistence of those who came before. Neural networks are now part of our everyday lives, powering search engines, translating languages, recommending movies, and even driving our cars. But this is just the beginning. Deep learning is still young, full of untapped potential and unexplored frontiers. As we explore the mysteries of the brain, we find new ways to mimic its abilities. Machines can now see, hear, understand, and even think. The future of AI holds immense possibilities and responsibilities. The journey ahead is filled with wonder and possibility.